Hey everyone, it's Jelly Beans here, and I'm finally making another video about the 12 tribes and my experience there. If you haven't seen my other ones, feel free to check them out. I'm mostly doing this for you and for me, so I can just cycle through all the thoughts about my experience there, my 8 years there, and also to help other people understand what they are getting into or could be getting into, or what a family or loved one is getting into or not, or just out of curiosity's sake. But yeah. So hit me up, look at my other videos, subscribe to my channel if you like, and like my video if you want. And today I'm going to be talking about what it's like to be a kid in the 12 tribes. So, I wasn't a kid in the 12 tribes, but I did have kids in the 12 tribes. I birthed them within the group. So I got a good taste of what it's like to raise kids in the 12 tribes. So I don't really have any order to this. I just kind of jot stuff down, and I figure I might as well just do it and just make the video before I spend too much more time thinking about it. So I'm gonna do it in no order. So here we go. So they have a very clear mind about how to raise kids. There's a lot of teachings about how to raise kids. So your own style or thoughts about parenting? Nope, you have to do it their way. So that's one thing. They really have really high expectations of what they expect out of their children. There's just very high expectations, which, can be a great thing in some ways. There's also a lot of correction. Whether it's verbal or physical. There's a lot of discipline within the group in different forms. So there is no television, no TV, no radio, no phone calls, no internet, at least for the kids. There's definitely not even for most of the adults, there's not any of that either, except for a few. Sometimes the authority has access to the internet. But anyways, that's not the point. The point is, for the kids, there are no televisions, no screens of any sorts. No outside influence at all. So that can be a good thing, too, in some ways. One thing that was hard for me was that there was no toys. Actually, it wasn't hard for me when I was in the group, because I just believed everything they said. But looking back, it's like, kids, toys can be such a wonderful component to childhood. So there are no toys within the group. There are things, they can use like colored pencils and crayons, and there's things that they can use that are like tool stuff, but there are no pretend, there's no trucks, there's no dolls, there's no toys at all. And so the kids are just expected to work alongside the parents. So if the mom is in the kitchen cooking, then the kid can be in the kitchen chopping carrots or dealing with all the compost, or depending on the age of the kid, they always find jobs for them, which is going to be a really nice thing, but it's also a lot to expect, in my perspective. But anyways, so yeah, no toys, no imagination, no pretend. There are stories for the kids, although they're always biblical. So there's not any imaginational type of situations that they would be exposed to. So really, let's see, the whole idea of raising kids, this is also my perspective of the situation, is just that to raise a child, you want them to do their authority's will. So they won't. Me being a parent, I wanted my kids to do my will on the first command. That was the goal, to have them listen and obey on the first command. So that's one of the goals of raising children there. So my perspective, it's really just a very controlling environment, and I think, I won't get into my perspective, but these are just my things. Okay, let me just check the list really quick. Oh yeah, okay, so there wasn't a lot of peer-to-peer interaction among the children, although there were certain times when they could, go to, they call them training, child training is what they call their school that they go to within the group. So they'd have child training times, and the younger ones would go for less hours, but they'd have little peer groups that they'd have a teacher, but they still wouldn't play with toys or anything. They'd always just learn things and color things, and let's see. they're really grown up to withstand hardship. Like they're really strong-willed children, like, but not their own will, but their parents' will. Yeah, they know how to go through a lot. So, and one really cool thing about being a kid in the community would be that there is such a strong community. Just many different people taking care of you, just being around people all the time. A lot of cooperation and care for each other are taught, and a lot of respect. It's a very respectful environment. So all those things are instilled, which is great, I think, personally. So when the kids grow up, they have a really great deal of maturity in some ways. But there's also a very large lack of knowledge in other ways, in my perspective. So a child is expected to stay within the group even when they turn into an adult. Like when they get to teenage years and they start turning into adult, they're expected to make a covenant with the group and stay there. But if they decide not to, it's kind of a big deal, and they're shunned. And like really, if ever a child is raised in the community and then goes out into the world, then it's a very shattering experience, because they're completely not equipped with the tools that they would need to navigate through this experience. So people do it, and like it's amazing. It's great. Like woo, good job. But they're just not equipped with the tools. They have a different set of maturity, understanding, knowledge, and wisdom. It's within the community. So being out of the community can be really challenging. So yeah, I think that's about it. I think the one more thing that I would say, and this is my own perspective also, is just that I'm really glad that I'm out. I have 3 kids, and I feel like now they have an opportunity to really find out who they are inside and who they really are, like created to be and like made to be, and go through their own experiences without people telling them what God thinks about them, and they can learn how to navigate themselves ultimately through this world. And so I think that's a really important thing. I'm glad that my kids are going to be able to do that and have their own experiences and not have me tell them how life is, but they can learn it themselves. And I, of course, can teach them things as well. But other people can too. And yeah, they can have their own experiences because they're their own people, and they came onto this earth for a certain reason. And yeah, it's good. It's good. So that's my gist on having kids in the 12 tribes. There's more to it for sure, but I think I brushed on the main ideas that I've had about this topic. Feel free to check out my other videos, and I'm going to be switching topics here eventually because I want to move into what I want and not look back about what was. So it's been enjoyable to cover all of this 12 tribes stuff, but sooner or later I'm going to be transitioning, so keep your eyes open, and thanks for checking out my channel. Feel free to give me a comment below. I respond to them like once a week usually. So, all right, I hope everyone is well. You all take care. Okay, thanks. Bye.